I agree with what proper consult says up here. He said this game showed our team has character. They could have mailed it in. I mean, he's
Yep.
absolutely right. They could have. I mean, they could have been at 4-5. I've seen many teams just go into give up mode at that point. I've seen Florida State do it. I've seen the Gators do it, among others.
The Gators did it last
They
year.
didn't. Yeah, absolutely.
They gave up like 50 something points to an FCS team.
They did. That's why I said they can have all the fun they want to talking about Middle Tennessee. That's fine. We didn't lose to, FCS teams like the two of them have.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't reached their levels. And does losing the Florida State game suck? Absolutely. It sucks.
Yeah, especially being there, man. Jesus Christ.
But, I mean, it's one of those things. If you want to stop the downward trend of this team, let these guys do their work. They're all proven. They've all had success everywhere they've been. But people want to focus on, Kevin Steele gave up 70 to West Virginia in this game. Okay.
That was 10 years ago.
So, I've seen Randy Shannon give up a bunch of points in a game, too. He's still a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah, didn't Butch Davis get blown out like 59 and some? Like he gave up Syracuse beat us like 59 something. I don't even remember.
As a matter of fact, that was the week before they beat number 1 UCLA in '98. Absolutely.
Yeah, Clemson game has the opportunity to kind of be that game, man. You can go in and say, hey, we lost to Florida State, we lost to Middle Tennessee. All this stuff happened. But we got Clemson coming up. Let's shock the country and let's make people remember the 2022 Canes. Let's leave that legacy because
they have the talent to do it.
Yep. Clemson's not a world beater.
Well, I mean, whether or not they will, no. I mean, whether or not they will, I mean, is up to them. Everybody's got to show up and give 180% for every play of that game. But it's not out of the. I mean, upsets happen all the time.
Yeah. I mean, like you look at that '98 game, you go back and watch it, and there was points where we were down like 2 touchdowns, and they just didn't give up. They didn't give up. And guess what?
I'm not trying to say Jalen Knight and his Edgerrin James by any stretch of the imagination, but
no.
Okay, you can still beat Clemson.
Got the talent.
I mean, it's like we've seen a lot through this year that they would probably have at least 2 less losses with some more effort.
Yep. I mean, like I said, after the Florida State game, it seemed like after that first touchdown, they just gave up.
I'm not going to say that they would have won the Florida State game. I mean, that's a toss-up to me every year. I don't care who's up, who's down, just the way it is. And almost the same way with North Carolina. North Carolina has kind of been the thorn in our side since we joined the conference back in 2004. I don't know why. It's just worked out that way. Even before Butch was there, North Carolina was just that thorn in our side.
I mean, didn't they upset us in 2004? We were like number 2 or 3 in the country or something like that.
Yeah, we lost North Carolina the first year we were in the conference. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Mike Williams said this. Yeah, Don Chaney might be available next week because Mark Cristobal said he's been looking better. And I think he's the best running back on the team.
And I completely agree with that statement. I think he is as well. If Don Chaney were to have a hope of playing, I would say he would have had to have come into this game. I don't think you want to put Don Chaney in his first game back against Clemson.
Yeah.
I like him. I don't do that to him. Maybe now definitely he needs to get in because there's nothing like getting game time reps.
Yeah, especially against that front seven.
But kind of okay. You remember what was it 2 weeks ago? Restrepo was on limited snaps against Virginia.
Yep.
Okay, do something like that with Don Chaney. Give him a few touches. Maybe five to seven somewhere in there. But that's probably all he really needs to do.
Yeah. And then Clemson will play to stop the run because I don't think they will respect Jacurri's passing attack. I mean, yeah, that's definitely how you would scheme against this offense, especially what they showed today with Jacurri at quarterback. This is really – you look at Florida State, the film that we put out with Jacurri at quarterback, and then the film we put out this week, they're just going to want to load the box and be like, hey, this is a young kid. He doesn't really have the mechanics of passing down yet. He's not really that great passer yet, but he's great on his legs. He can make a few guys miss and get a big game.
But here's the problem with that. With what Clemson has shown us this year, are they going to trust to put their corners out on an island like that? Because their corners have not been the most reliable part of their defense this year.
All right, it's Clemson week. We beat Georgia Tech. It was nice. It was good. This was supposed to be potentially a top 10 matchup before the season, everyone was saying. Now we're 5-5. They won today, I think, and lost to Notre Dame last week. But, this is still a big opportunity for us to see what we can do against them. And
yeah, I'm assuming they won. They were up 24-7 last time I looked at it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call it safe and say, yeah, they won 31-16 against Louisville.
Okay.
Yep, they won. They're now 9-1.
Yeah.
Well,
and I know a lot of people, and I've heard it all week. Clemson lost to Notre Dame. They're terrible. No, Clemson's not a terrible team.
No.
And to be honest with you, especially with the playoff format, I would rather go into it with a loss and I'd feel better about it. If you're one of those elite teams, and Nick Saban has said this definitely over the years, it's one of the main reasons it's so hard to go back to back is if you're bringing back a lot of that same team, it's hard to get them up for some of those games because it's just a mentality in the player's mind. We're national champs. We should be able to cruise this year and do it. And it just doesn't work that way. So that's why I think Clemson with a loss is, yeah, well.
They had a few close games. I'm not saying like 0-2 Miami was like a bad team or anything. They obviously went to a national championship and not going to get into it, but they should have won. But
and I've heard this from Miami fans. I've heard this from Miami fans forever. And you can blame the refs for that game all you want. That game never should have been close. Remember how we were in 2017? They were winning every game by 1, 2, 3 points. Yeah, that was Ohio State in 2002.
Yep.
They should have been blown off the field in regulation. So that pass interference never should have mattered. But they let them.
Jimmy Johnson said it, and it was put on that documentary. Never let the game go into the hands of the referees because they will screw you over every chance they get.
It is what it is. I mean, I spent a lot of years watching and actually boxing myself, and I've seen judges screw people over left and right all throughout my life. Don't leave it in their hands. You don't have to worry about it.